As you can see, I am still on vacation. I'm here broken. I've decided to pre-record this because the last time I recorded it came in and out. It is very easy right now, folks, for us to become extremely emotional. If you're feeling extremely emotional, you're right where the American media wants you to be because they want you tuning in and watching their channel. So one of the things they like to do is they like to create chaos. And they love to do this for about a good 6 months so that we will watch CNN 24 hours a day and be manipulated like little chickens jumping up and down. And sometimes they get a kick out of, helping certain candidates get elected, it would seem, just because it's fun and it's great for ratings. And who cares about the consequences to democracy? Of cable TV. It's very important for us to be grounded in reality right now and to just look at data and to not let ourselves be swayed by hyper emotionalism right now. And that's really difficult. I think that's really difficult because people are scared and they're afraid for the future. There are a lot of questions that we as Americans need to ask ourselves right now. And there are things we have to ask ourselves as Israelis right now. If you are an Israeli, there are some serious things we have to ask ourselves right now. What are we collectively creating? Do we have our facts straight? It seems to me pretty shocking, just observing it, that January 6th could have happened and Donald Trump is not only walking the streets, but he's close to the White House all over again. What does that say about us as a country? I think we have to take a moment, a pause, a collective pause as a country and ask ourselves, how did we come here? How did we get to this place? How hell-bent are we in getting ourselves blown up? Because we seem to be moving in a very dangerous direction. And there's a lot of confusing things happening. To Germany in 1939. Because Germany in 1939 is a snapshot that reminds us of what you need in order to have fascism get a hold in a country. And people were desperate, people were frantic about the economy. The chancellor was aging, and fascism was rising. And it would appear that many of the same ingredients are back again right here in the United States. People ask me, why does Iran want to obliterate the state of Israel so badly? It's really and Jew hatred if you yourself are not a racist. But people have to understand during World War II, Hitler came to Egypt. Hitler's troops came to Egypt, and he was very interested in utilizing the anti-Semitism of the Middle East towards his benefit, their common enemy, the Jew. And so he brought into his fold many sympathizers from the Middle East, Palestinian leadership, Egyptian leadership, Syria, and Iran, of course, followed suit. And really, I don't think there's much of a difference philosophically between Hitler's beliefs and the beliefs that are currently being ran, Hezbollah, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and all the other proxy armies that they've been propping up, because their core beliefs can get traced back to changes that were happening in the world in the 1940s as Hitler was looking to expand his beliefs to other parts of the world. If you think about it, it was the most practical thing for him to do, because if he lost Europe, he could always regroup in another part of the world. And that's precisely what's happened. It lived on long after Hitler died, with the Khomeini, with the Egyptian government and Nasser. For a long time, the Shia in Saudi Arabia, and still to some extent. And until we know where we came from, it's going to be really hard to understand where we're headed or how we got to. We talked about trade wars, and that's important to understand, East versus West, and what can happen when we piss people off. If you don't kill somebody and you just piss them off, you make them even more committed to wanting to destroy you. Now, there's a lot of changes going on in the world. There are political changes towards the right in Britain, in France, in Germany, and now in the United States. But in the midst of all of this confusion towards the right, being anti-Hezbollah, what these confused persons don't understand is that Iran is an ally of Putin, and that the very people they're fighting are Putin's buddies, all the while claiming to because Americans are not the smartest or sharpest knives in the drawer. Let's face facts. And confused, really confused. My job is I'm an empath. So I think we need to establish some explanations. Nobody can see the future, folks. Okay, well, actually, sometimes things are set in stone. There are so many variables working against someone that you could argue that it's set in stone. For example, 24 to 48 hours prior to Princess Diana's death, I believe she was already gone in other realms, because people began having prophetic dreams, including me, of her being carried off over the seas of France and being chased by people on motorcades. That was a dream I had that morning, and that midnight she was dead. I had the most disturbing dream about Diana, and then I described her being chased across the river, Calais, into Calais. I saw France and these people chasing her, and it was very disturbing. I was very upset. So the energy had been set in some world prior to it existing in this world. So in that sense, premonition can happen. If you're talking about the formula, maybe depending upon how much intention people have, what the equation is, how it's going to be set up, what the free choices are. Sometimes in a situation like that, yes, you can see it coming. But if you've got plenty of time, you have to realize there's a lot of equations that go into it. My job is I don't think people understand what I do here. My job is that I feel people's emotions. Fortunately, a lot of people can't feel their own emotions, which is why they hire me. Or they get so lost in their own emotions, they can't see their situation straight. I felt that Biden was instructed to laugh at him. Now, why did it fall apart? Because Biden's getting older. Maybe he was not feeling well. I'm concerned. And I'm concerned because the United States failed to get this guy in a prison cell on January 7th. He should have been This should have been taken care of a long time ago. We should not have had ourselves. The fact that we have placed ourselves in this situation makes me wonder if we even deserve a democracy, to be quite frank with you. As for what's going on in Israel, it's the same thing, really. It's in the situation of October 7th, Netanyahu. What is October 7th? It's Putin's birthday. He wanted a pogrom. So what did he do to get his pogrom? To get his genocide of the Jews, which was traditionally what czars got on their birthdays, to kill a bunch of Jews. The rabid anti-Semitism of Tsarist Russia, notorious. These were the things they would do. Christmas, the Russian Orthodox Church. You need an enemy, and the Russian Orthodox Church would just smack around a few Jews. And people would feel better because somebody was less than them. That's how scapegoating works. Oh, well, thank God I'm not one of them. The bottom line is that the people in power in Israel are, Netanyahu is not going to fix the problem he created. And Trump is not going to fix the problem he created. They did this collectively. Trump, Netanyahu, Putin, they did this to us with their friends Iran and Syria. They dismantled, they pulled US troops out of the Middle East. They opened the door to Hezbollah. They made kissy face with Putin. They gave him intelligence information. They helped him kill Jewish people. They helped him open the door. They helped Hezbollah move into Lebanon and begin firing in the north. They offered hot toddies and ice cream. That's objective reality. They're Putin's friends. It was Putin's birthday. Netanyahu is not the solution. Netanyahu is the problem. Putin is the perpetrator. Trump opens the door for the crime. They're all in it together. That's reality. So you get a senile guy in there. Say, for example, the worst is true. And Biden is senile. Just like Reagan was senile. What changes? The policies are the policies. Pro-choice. How is it going to be better to have a fascist in the White House that opened the door to October 7th and Hezbollah? We've evacuated 70,000 because of dump. That's objective reality. Hezbollah is sleeping comfortably because US troops left. Because Putin wanted his trade route. Because Putin wanted control of that area with his buddies, Syria and Iran. And so he told his friend Trump to get the US out. And so Hezbollah moved in. He did this to us. Netanyahu did this to us. Compromised security by opening the door to Russians, pretended like he had Putin in his back pocket, and then stood by shocked, Netanyahu, when October 7th happened, because he thought Putin was his buddy. But more than that, we have to ask ourselves, as intelligent adults, how did we get here? Why are these men not in jail? Let's do the impasse prayer. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. Amen. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get into the head of Donald Trump and see how he's doing. I know they're patting him on the back. They think he did a great job. They really think that these Nazis think that they can win again because they're insane. And people tell themselves stories all the time, don't they? Crazy people love to make up stories. In fact, that's pretty much what you find with psychopathy and sociopaths, is that everything is a story. People with personality disorders chronically lie. They lie about everything. And it's true, I swear it's true. Many get into acting, right? They'll be caught red-handed while claiming that they're innocent, right? Are aiding and abetting that he is not in a prison cell. After how many people died? How many people died on January 6th? Like that patriotic woman that got shot and was killed immediately. She thought she was being a patriotic American because she was deceived and lied to by people who thought it would be fun to play with vulnerable people. The QAnon freaks. They thought it was fun that this woman who was a patriotic American, a misguided patriotic American who thought that she was willing to give up her life to save America. That's a beautiful thing. It's noble, right? It's a noble thing to want to give up your life for freedom and democracy. She believed what she was doing. She believed, all intents and purposes, Trump basically was the one that shot and killed her. He did shoot and kill her. And those people that committed suicide and died, he killed those people. Trump killed those people, he and his henchmen. And yet, here he is, no consequences. So again, what does that say about us as a country? Do we deserve a democracy or not? Where Trump is at, the businessman. The false knight, seducer, gaslighter. You know, the Knight of Cups is very sexy, sexy, sexy. Where he's at right now, the biggest problem is there appears to be a drug or alcohol problem with Trump. Devil right over him, but he's also got the star. He's a star. He's got unbelievably good luck. What he's sitting in, the high priestess. So there are people, intellectuals and people in positions of power that are just coming back for more. They love to smell that power. They want to sit in that power. Look at the Six of Cups standing in his fourth house. Six of Cups in the fourth house. Past placement, Archangel Truth, leaping to success, Three of Cups. Where he's at, Four of Pentacles, watch his money. Others are fleeing, the hope and the fear, grief. And look at this, 6-year victory. Smoother waters lay ahead. His clarification, a new beginning lay ahead for him. His opposition is fighting. And fear, the president and his Six of Pentacles. Looks like he'll be getting even more money in the near future for his campaign because evil people think they are good. When people do evil things, it's often under the guise that they are doing good. And so the people serving, the people that are helping him, think that he is representing Jesus, that Jesus is going to come back to the White House. And then Jesus is going to come just like a Hallmark postcard with a little garden, with a little sheep, and he's going to come back to, even though that's not what Israel looks like, that's more like Wisconsin, which is where isn't Hallmark made somewhere in the Midwest? With Jesus and living on a Midwest farm with little sheep. And so that's what people want. They want Jesus to come, and they want to live in a nice little farm, right? In a little magical kingdom. So that's not bad, what people want. So good people being highly emotional, throwing all ration out the window. Because they feel something, right? Because they're emotions. Where was Merrick Garland? Where were we? Where were the lawyers that took the grubby little fingers all over his money that are now in prison? There, right? The new lawyers, they care about power and money and greed and not having to pay taxes, right? Just look at Nikki Haley. That's the winning ticket, right? If Joe continues to lose keys, he could have lost a key during that debate, right? If it's bad. If it's cognitive, that's a serious key to lose if you're talking about the keys to the White House, right? He's already lost 2. Let's look at Nikki Haley. She's chained to the devil. She's chained to this psychopath. She is chained to this psychopath. Where she is at, she is researching. What is the crossing card for her? Taking a leap of faith. She wants that power. Sniff, sniff, sniff. She wants that power. What is above her? She's stressed out. I wonder why. What she's sitting in. Hanging it up. She's stressed about something. Past placement, the King of Wands. And she's headed towards a tower. Something serious is about to happen to Haley. That's a tower, a dramatic event. She's traveling. The other doesn't want to take the offer. This would indicate possibly that Trump doesn't want to give it to her. He's sulking. That could be, there could be a break here, hopes and fears. You see, I think that she thinks she's not going to, I think that that's what this might be. It's over. Did she lose? Is she breaking with him? This almost looks like she's breaking with him. Money. She has money here. And Trump, victory in the next 6 months. Hopes and fears, the partnership, and the final outcome for her, the presidency. These are very unusual cards. It could be that she wins the presidency, that he gets it for the GOP and then steps down and she takes the presidency. This is one way that Nikki Haley is scheming to take the White House. In plain words, what the cards are saying is that she is very concerned that Trump will not pick her because she is afraid of who she wants the power of being the VP. And then they want to kick him out, have him raise a bunch of money, be victorious, but then she wants to sit in the White House. He can bring it home, but she serves. In plain words, the strategy going forward is he makes the money, he's the charmer, he wins the seat, he goes to prison, and then they give it to her. That's pretty much what I thought was going to happen, or what they are attempting to do. I want to go back to Biden and get into the strategy over Biden. They're starting to talk about Biden having potentially sundowning, and that's something that happens naturally. We get tired in the evenings as we get older. And he's had a lot of injuries. He's had head injuries. He's had some, I think, didn't he have a surgery in his head? So Biden has had injuries. These are honest conversations that I said we had to have as voters, but nobody wanted to have it because of emotionalism. And emotionalism is going to get us to a very dangerous place. Let's take a look at what we're going to do with Joe Biden. What is going on? Because if he's got the keys and we give it to somebody else, we've just burned the White House. We've just taken it from the person who has the keys to win because of one bad device, and we basically burned our own chances at the White House because of a hyper-emotional response. And let's not commit suicide, emotional Democrats. Calm yourselves down and try and look at the situation rationally. And that's my concern, is this guy is the guy most likely who has the keys, according to Lichtenstein, to take the White House, Alan Lichtenstein. So why would we remove him because of one bad debate when all the data shows Biden's going to win? Biden feels cornered. He wants to take the weapons of war away from his enemies, and in fact, it is the destiny of Joe Biden to take the weapons of war away from the enemy. 5 of Swords. What is over him? They're seriously examining the situation. The crossing card, 10 of Swords. Very bad cards for Joe Biden right now. What is above him? A new beginning. What he sits in is trying to heal. I believe he was ill. What he's coming out of? Queen of Pentacles, and he's entering into 6 of Pentacles service. He's at right now, academia. His opposition has karmic. There's a karmic wheel with his opposition. His hopes and fears is war looming everywhere. And his final outcome is 10 of Cups, a happy family. So that would indicate to me something positive coming the way of Joe Biden. And then his clarification, confusion, the other hopes and fears. This would indicate to me that despite the fact that he has the 7 of Cups, which again would indicate possibly cognitive decline, perhaps he will win it and then give it to somebody else, or he will do something that will ensure that things will go well, 10 of Cups in the future. There's something here about him dismantling his enemies. All right, people are playing some sports, so I'm going to have to call it a day. Looks like they're having fun. Don't freak out too much, but at the same time, I think the best thing that we can do is to get the facts out so that at the very least, people are rational when they go to the polls about who Trump is. All right, thanks everyone. Be sure and share, like, and subscribe. I'll be back in the US in a couple of days. Reading with me or see me as a physician through telemedicine. The information is below. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too.